In our previous lessons, we've discussed the if single selection statement and the if-else double selection statement to be able to control the flow of our applications based on true or false expressions. C# also provides us with the switch multiple selection statement to perform different actions based on possible values of an expression. So what this means is we can create an expression and evaluate using the switch statement on as many different cases or kind of multiple choice questions as we want. So the switch statement is made up of a couple of new keywords. We have the switch statement, which holds whatever we're evaluating. This can be an integer, it could be a string, whatever we basically want to match on. We then have the switch block, which holds various cases. Each case is our multiple choice match. So as we evaluate the expression, we can then match the case and say, well, was it a 5? Was it a 6? Was it a 7? For the case of integers, we can look at strings and say, was it Tom or was it Sarah? When a match is made in a case, we can then have specific statements that are executed strictly for that case. Another new keyword is the break. The break keyword allows us to stop execution of a particular code block. So for the switch statement, we use the break after a case once the statements inside have been executed, so that we don't keep going through and evaluating each case in the chain. The purpose of the switch statement is to usually only execute one case based on the match. Finally, there's the keyword default. The default case in the switch statement is executed by default if no other matches are found while it's evaluating the cases. So the default is optional, but it gives you a way to create statements that are then executed if there's no match. So let's look at an example. Here I've created a variable named grade, and I've set up my switch statement to divide grade by 10. So in a standard grading scale, let's say the student has an 85. Grade divided by 10 is going to give me an 8. So in a standard grading scale, that's a B. And I've set up my cases inside of the switch for 90s, which would be an A. Hundreds, which would give me 10, is going to be an A. 80s, which is going to give me a B. 70s, which is going to give me a C. 60s, which is going to give me a D. And then I'm using the default case for anything less than 60. Since there won't be a match on any of these cases, I can make the assumption that the grade is less than 60, which would be an F. You can see that there's the break after each case section. Since I don't want to continue processing statements, the break is going to automatically push us out of the case and then continue on outside of the case block. Up here in case 9, since the outcome for case 9 and case 10 is the same, writing out you got an A, there's no break since I want case 9 to basically drop into case 10. We can change the value of grade and run to see what's happening. So grade comes down and is evaluated grade divided by 10. I hop into case 8 because that's the evaluation made, and it's going to print out you got a B. It's going to hit the break statement and pop out of the switch and then continue on with any further statements in my program. As you run your switch statement, you can play with this variable and see the different outcomes that happen in switch statements. But remember, they're primarily used for multiple choice expressions, where if gives us a single selection and if else gives us a double selection, there's no limit to the number of cases that can go inside of a switch.